Alright, my people, so here we go. Show you how I did the oil pump modification and shaft delete on Volkswagen and Audi. This is for my FSI motor. So here we go. First thing that I did was cut this gear off right here. This gear right here is connected to this one. I cut that right there under it first. See, right between there. Sorry with the camera. See where the gap is at? Right there. I cut that gears, that shaft that is connected to this. So I cut right in between there. You cut, then you spin it, then you cut till you're able to cut all the way through. Then after you do that, you'll have this one and this spin freely. But you have to take this gear out because since it's not connected no more, this, you have a chance of this kind of scorching this right here when it spins. When it spins the other way, it's gonna move up since it has no restriction to move. It moves freely now. So after you cut between there, cut that gear, the shaft completely, and you want to cut from the third screw from the pump. 1, 2, 3. The third screw right against the edge, you cut all the way down, all the way across to the other side. Same thing. Over here, this side is the fourth hole, but because this is the oil port, if I'm mistaken. I think that's what it's called, oil port. That's where the oil drains out of from the top of the head. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other side. So it'll be 1, 2, 3 on one side, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're gonna do the same thing. Cut right against the edge, all the way down, straight cut all the way through. You don't want to cut too much on this side like I did, because then you're gonna have to cut through a lot more metal. So if you catch it kind of in the middle, you're able just to cut the thin cast like this, the edge like this, just about like that thin. So once you cut it all the way through, mine's already cut and all that, so once you cut it, you'll have these two parts. See on this one, that's what I said, if you cut too much into this, you have to cut through all that extra metal. You don't want to do that. If you move up a little bit, you'll be okay. But once you separate that gear, the both shaft, once you separate, you cut it through the middle. Remember, I said cut this shaft. That's be the first one you cut. That'll be the first cut I would do. That's the one I did first because I think it just makes sense. It's easier. So once you get that cut, then you cut right up against the edge. Like I said, the third screw on this side and the fourth hole on that side. You cut it right against the edge. And the best way to do it, see those little holes on top of the head? Cut right in between that. And that'll be your best cut. See how thin it is? You can just cut right through it like nothing. Because if not, you have to cut all this extra metal and kind of a headache. Then the grinder kind of kicks back and want nothing to happen. But then once you cut that, once you cut that off completely, this has already been cut. This is the first cut you did. So now what you do, the small one, not the big one. The big one you don't touch at all. You leave it. You cut the little, I don't know what you call it, but the both edges that hold it together. So you cut straight down, and then you cut straight across. This detached that gear. So once you move that gear, the piece of metal, this gear is free. It's out. It's gone. So now that goes there. Here's the oil pump right here. Went from all that. You went from that. That's the top of it right there. See, if you cut right past these holes right here, not against this side, on this side. If you cut it right there, you get that nice clean cut. So now what I have is just this pump right here. Shaft is separated. It weighs about, I don't know, 15, 20 pounds, give or take. It's a lot. This weighs nothing. So now, this is the important part. So now you have that shaft. This is the one people buy that sprocket for, to make it spin freely. Now, spins freely, no problem. So now, once you cut it, you're gonna have that's okay, it didn't do nothing, it just slipped off. But now you have this oil feed. This feeds the rest of the balance shafts oil. So now once you cut it, you're gonna have this hole right there open. That's this hole right here is for this one. That's the whole passage. Oil goes right through there. So what you do now is, once you have this oil, this hole available, you tap it. And once you tap that, you put a screw through it. What I did, I gotta clean it up a little bit more, but I tapped it, then I put a screw in there with JB weld, just JB weld around the thread, and then I cut the head off and just made it smooth. I gotta clean it up a little bit more just to make it look a little nicer. So you got that one right there. This is where the oil tube goes. Make sure there's nothing goes in there. Cover that up. Once you're cutting, you don't want nothing inside of there, no metal or nothing. So once you clean that up, make sure you blow it out. Once you tap it, make sure you blow and all that debris from tapping it. Make sure you blow that out. Then that gear you took off here, the gear goes there. There's a whole passage. It is right there. Right there. This where you cut it at. It's gonna be a hole there. That hole goes all the way through. It looks like this. It's a little metal ball. It goes through the other side. So from here, that hole is a whole passage. All that's gonna get cleaned up a little bit, so no worries. There's no shavings or anything gonna go in the car. in the motor. So you tap that one through here, through the front. And that goes all the way through. So it's basically 3 screws, 3 holes, but I use two screws, because if you get a long enough screw, you can tap this hole from both sides. Because this used to feed the balance shafts. So now, like I said, I put JB Weld. I still got to clean it up and stuff. And yeah, so that is it. Those are 2 holes, 3, but with 2 screws you're supposed to cover, so you won't lose no oil pressure. Is the one on here, you tap that all the way through. There's a hole here with a little metal ball. You take that out. I banged it out from this side. It came right out. Then I tapped the hole and put a screw through there, no problem. I tapped the side, and that was it. Now I'm ready to clean the oil pump and get to it. Just shake this up a little bit more, clean it up, but that is it. And no issues. That's the pump. Then I cut the little gasket tray that goes in between the pump and the block. I cut that to size, and that's it. So remember, once you cut it, the most important thing after you cut it is plugging these holes. The ones on the side, that one, and the hole this in that gear. You can tap that all the way through to this side. It'll be fine. Because you don't need no more oil pressure going out this way, because there's nothing else going on this side. So once you block this and block that, all that oil pressure stay inside here, which that's all you need. Like I said, pump spins freely. You'll get higher revs much quicker, and I guess more torqueier. So that's it, guys.